Hello and welcome to the introduction for this course. What are the course requirements? You need a computer and internet connection to follow along with this course. Who is this course for? This course is for anyone who wants to learn something new. What is the course format? The format of the course is video. Hello and welcome. In this video, we are going to download and install Visual Studio Code. What is Visual Studio Code? Visual Studio Code is a free, open source, modern text editor. By open source, it means the source code is open for developers to contribute in making it better. Visual Studio Code is cross-platform. That means it will work across multiple operating systems. So it will work on Windows. It will also work on Mac. Visual Studio Code can be extended in functionality by installing extensions. So if you want to add functionality to Visual Studio Code, you can download and install extensions to extend its functionality. The official link to the Visual Studio Code is displayed on the screen. You can download the Visual Studio Code from this link and also learn more about the text editor from the link. To download Visual Studio Code, just go to the link that I previously showed you, and that's the link there displayed, and it will show up the download tab for your respective operating system. If you're running a Mac, it will display a download button for a Mac. If you're on a Mac, just download, extract, and then drag the DMG file, which is a disk image file, into your applications folder, and that will install it for you. If you're running a Windows like I am, just click on this download for Windows, and that will start downloading the files. There you go. It's downloading the files for installation. So I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes to complete the download. There you go. It has completed. So I'm just going to double click and begin the installation. So you will get a pop-up like this. I'm just going to click next. I'm going to check this tab to accept the agreement and click next. And it's prompting me for a location. I'm just going to accept the default location. It's telling you the disk space that is required. So I'll click next. Again, asking you to select a folder that it will install into. It's suggested a default here. I'm going to accept that and click next. And then we have some boxes here. It's checked here. Add path. This I would recommend you leave. If you want to add, for example, a shortcut icon, I'm going to click on that. So it creates a desktop icon on my desktop, and just click next. If you're interested in the other options, just check it. Once you're done, click next and click the install button, and that will begin the installation. Once the installation completes, you are given this completion screen. And there is a box there to say launch Visual Studio Code. If you don't want to launch it, you can uncheck it. It also, if you've checked the option to create a icon on your desktop, you will get an icon like this on your desktop. So I'm going to leave the launch Visual Studio Code so that it launches it. I'll click the finish button and then it will launch the application. So I'll click finish. So this is what the interface looks like here. So there's a file option that also has a preferences tab and a settings option. If you want to change the theme, for example, you can customize it by going here. You can see I've got a dark theme at the moment. If I click on color theme, and if I wanted to select a lighter theme, it will give you the options to, it tells you here, this is my default theme, which is dark. So if you want a lighter theme, just select one of the options. So this is where you can go and change your theme. If you haven't got the theme that you like there,
you can always click on the extensions option, this option here, this tab here that says extension. If you click on that, and there's a search option that you can type in whatever extensions you want to install. While I'm here, there is an extension I want to install. It's called Paste and Indent. And what that does, it allows you to automatically indent your code. If you paste the code into your code editor, it will automatically indent it. So this is it. So if you want to install it, just click install and that will install it. And you can see here it's doing the install. Once it's done, you can click reload and that will reload the editor and tells you here the option has been enabled, paste and indent enabled. To learn more about the editor, there is a help option here and there is a documentation here you can always go to. So that's it for this video. In this video, I showed you how to download and install Visual Studio Code. Thanks for watching. Hello and welcome. In this video, we are going to download and install the Atom text editor. What is Atom? Atom is a free, open source and modern text editor. By open source, I mean its source code is open for developers to contribute in making it better. The Atom text editor is cross-platform. That means it will work across multiple platforms like Windows and also a Mac. The functionality of the Atom text editor can be extended by installing various types of extensions. You can download Atom from this link, which is atom.io. The link takes you to the home page of the Atom text editor, where you can download and learn more about the text editor. This is the home page of the Atom text editor. To download, there should be a download button. Here you go. Depending on your operating system, if you're running a Mac, it will present you with the relevant download button. I'm running a Windows, so I'm going to click on this to begin my download. So that's the download there. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes to finish downloading. Then I'll run the installation files. The files are finished downloading. So I'm just going to double click to run the Atom setup file. So click, and it's trying to prepare the files for installation. We just give it a few minutes to get, there you go, it's trying to launch. So what's happening is the editor has been installed at the moment. You can see it tells you here Atom is being installed, and it will launch once the installation is completed. Once the installation is completed, it automatically also launches the text editor, and this is the default screen that you are presented with when you first install the editor. So you've got different options here. You can, for now, it tells you here that Atom is not currently set as your default handler. You can skip that and go back to it later. So just click on X. So this is the default screen, and in this palette here, if you wanted to extend the functionality of Atom by installing different packages or extensions, this is where you will go. So you got an option here to install a package. Atom has several packages or extensions that you can use to extend its functionality. As you begin to use the editor, you may come across useful extensions or packages that others have used, and you may want to install it yourself, and this is where you go to install that. If you want to choose a theme, if you don't like the default theme, you click on this button to change it. And if you want to integrate with GitHub, it integrates nicely. GitHub and Git, which is a version control system. And if you want to open a new project, there's a tab here to open up a new project. So that's it for the installation of the Atom text editor. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I will be showing you links to where you can download and install some popular web browsers. You need web browsers in order to access web-based applications. In this slide, I will list some of the most commonly used web browsers and their corresponding links to where you can download and install them. You may already have some installed already. However, I recommend you have at least 2 to 3 different web browsers installed on your computer. They are all easy to download and install. The most commonly used web browsers today are Google Chrome, which is developed by Google, and then we have Firefox. Firefox is developed by Mozilla. We have Safari, which is developed by Apple, and this comes shipped with Mac OS. Apple no longer supports Safari for Windows. We have Internet Explorer. This is developed by Microsoft and comes shipped with Windows operating system. We also have Edge. Edge is developed by Microsoft and comes shipped with the most recent versions of Windows operating system, for example, Windows 10. Another good web browser is called Opera, and this is developed by the Opera Corporation. You can visit any of the links displayed on the screen to download and install the web browser, but note that Apple no longer supports Safari for Windows. I have already got some of these installed on my computer, as you can see on the screen. I will strongly recommend you have at least Google Chrome and Firefox web browsers, as they are mostly used by web developers and designers for developing and testing. Hello there. Many people may think that the internet and the web or World Wide Web are the same thing. While they are closely linked, they are very different systems. What is the web? Also known as the World Wide Web. The web basically is a collection of web pages that is found on the internet. What is the internet? The internet is a huge network of computers all connected together. So there's a clear distinction between the web and the internet. They are linked. While the internet is a huge network of connected computers, the World Wide Web refers to a collection of web pages found on the network of computers. Your web browser uses the internet to access the web. What is a client-server network? Anytime you make a request or you're searching for something on the internet, you are actually making a request to a web page that is in a remote location. So that usually is done over the internet, and the location where the information or the resources you're looking for is usually stored in what is called a server. So normally you would use your web browser via a client. The client can be your laptop, it can be your phone, or it can be your tablet, or any device that you can connect to the internet can be used as or referred to as a client. So usually you would use a web browser via a client machine over the internet to connect to the resource you want. Say for example, I wanted to look for a YouTube video. I would type in www.youtube.com via my web browser, and then that request goes over the internet to the remote server, which could be anywhere in the world. So let's say, assume this is the video server that contains the request I made. So the request comes in, it does a search for the video I want, it finds it, sends it back via the internet back to the client through the web browser, and then I see the video and play the video. So these here are the server. Anytime you make a request through your web browser, it's usually going over the internet, and it will go over the internet to search for the server that contains the information you request. So this process is called the client server network. The device that you use to access the internet is known as the client, while the resource that contains the data or the information you want is referred to as the server. So there are tons and tons of servers located all over the world. So anytime you make a request, the request can go to anywhere the server is located. If, for example, you wanted to maybe pull up some images from an image sharing site, you make the request via your web browser, again over the internet. It locates the server that has the information you want. The server processes the information, sends it back through the internet, and then you get the response displayed on your device. So that's basically how the client server network works. That's basically how the internet works. Anytime you make a request through the web browser, just know that you're doing that using a client. So the machine that contains the web browser is the client, and then it goes over the internet, looks for the resources, which is located on the server. The server then processes that, sends that back through the internet to the client who's made the request. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.